નમસ્કાર, હું આદર્શ છું. વેલકમ ટુ આદર્શ એજ્યુકેશન સોસાયટી.
Hello students, today we will start the new chapter, that is chapter number 6, square and square roots. Right? This is the chapter of standard 8. So now what is the meaning of squares? First of all we will study about the squares. Then after we will study about the square roots. So if you remember, we have studied about the different types of number sets in chapter number 1. So what are the numbers? We know that there are many numbers in the world, right? Like there are natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers and rational numbers. That all numbers we know. And we have studied about some of the properties that is related to that numbers, right? So the square numbers, the squares are also a kind of numbers, which is, we can say it is a special kind of property of which number? Of natural number. So the squares are, we have to take from which set? We have to take the squares from the natural number set. That is squares are some special kind of numbers. So we can say that the squares of a number is a special property. Like we can classify the natural numbers in the even and odd. In another way we can classify it into the prime and composite numbers, right? So in the same way we can classify the natural numbers as a square numbers and non-square numbers. Now what is the square number? Let's suppose take one numbers, first number, that is 1. The whole number, first natural number is 1. And its square is what? It is 1. So how we can find the square of any number? We can find the square of any number. Let's suppose a natural number n. Then if we multiply the same number, whatever we get here, it is called the square of the number n. In place of n square, we can take one number, that is m. And what is m again? M is again the natural number. So when we apply this formula for the numbers, what we get? 1 into 1. What is that? 1. Let us find out the square of 2. 2 multiplied by 2, that is 2 square. And 2 square is what? 2 2s are what? 4. So here in place of m, what we get? 4. And 4 is what? 4 is again a natural number. So 2 and the square of 2 is 4. In the same way, now you can think, if we want to find out the square of 3, we have to multiply 3 with the 3. So 3 3s are 9. So the square of this 3 is 9. See, all these squares, here you can notice that, are also the natural numbers. So in the same way, the square of 4 is 16, square of 5 is 25, square of 6 is 36, square of 7 is 49, square of 8 is 64, square of 9 is 81, and square of 10 is 100. In the same way, square of 11 is 121, square of 12 is 144, square of 13 is 169, square of 14 is 196, square of 15 is 225, square of 16 is 256, square of 17 is 289, square of 18 is 324, square of 19 is 361, and square of 20 is 400. So you may think now, up to which number we have to remember this square of the numbers? Up to 20. Currently up to 20 we have to remember what is the square of the numbers, right? And you can here also notice that these are the square numbers, these are the square numbers, and both numbers are also the natural numbers, right? So in this way we can find out the square of any number by multiplying the number itself, right? So this is what about the natural number. So we can say that this is a special kind of numbers. See, if I say that number 3 is the number 3 is a square of any number? No. Then 8, can you find out 8 anywhere here? No. So 8 is not a square number. In the same way 14, do you notice the 14 here? No. So 14 is also not a square number. So what are the numbers is the square of any number are called the perfect square numbers. So all these numbers are what? Perfect square numbers. Right? Okay. So now this is all about the introduction, the basic of the squares. How we can find out the squares? Now we have to study about some of the properties of these square numbers. Right? So if you notice, now we will find out some of the properties from these numbers. Right? See, here first thing you can notice that all the square numbers, notice its unit digit. See, here these three numbers are only the one digit number, so its unit digit is obviously here 1, here 4 and here 9. Now notice here the unit place digit is 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. In the same way 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. So what kind of digit we get at the unit place? We get 0 as a unit place? Yes. Can we get 1 as a unit place? Yes. Can we get 2 as a unit place? See? No. Can we get 3 as a unit place? No. Can we get 4 as a unit place? Yes. 4 we get as a unit place. In the same way, can we get 5? Yes, we get 5. Can we get 6? Yes, we get 6. Now, can we get the 7 at the unit place? See, no, there is no 7 at the unit place of the square number. In the same way, 8 is also not there. See, 9, yes, 9 is there. So what numbers we left? We left the number that we do not consider it is 2, 3, 7 and 8. So from this table we can conclude that if the number is a perfect square number of any natural number, then its unit place number must be from these numbers. If there is 2, 3, 7, 8 at the unit place, then that number never be the perfect square of any natural number. If there is 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 at the unit place, then it can be the perfect square of any number. See, I am not saying it must be the perfect square. It can be. It can be the perfect square. I am not saying it must be the perfect square number. Like we can take an example C, 1, 4, 14. There is a 4 at the unit place, but 14 is not a perfect square number. At the same time, if we take 64, then what will happen? 64, unit place is 4, but it is a perfect square of 8. So, in every case, it is not possible that if the unit place digit is either from this any number, then it can be a perfect square number, right? It not must be a perfect square number. So, this is one of the property that we have to keep in mind. So, if you have given a question that find out that 128 is a perfect square number or not, then we can directly say that yes, this is not a perfect square number because its unit place is 8. In the same way, if we have given that find out one greater digit 1427. Can it be a perfect square number of any natural number? No, because 7 is there at the unit place, and if 2, 3, 7, 8 it at units place, then that number cannot be the perfect square number, right? So this is the one property. Now notice here, see, if there is a unit place number is 1 or 9, 1 or 9, what we get at its perfect square unit digit? 1 and 1. So there is a 1 at the unit place of perfect square number. It is the square of the number which has a unit place number either 1 or 9. Do not understand? See here. These numbers 11 has a unit place number 1 and this number 19 has a unit place number 9. So 1 and 9. Then its square. See, notice its square. There is a unit place number is what? 1. And here also the unit place number is 1. So whenever there is a 1 at the unit place number of perfect square number, then they will be either square of the number which has a unit place number 1 or 9. So these are natural numbers and this is about the perfect square number. In the same way, you can notice here that perfect square number unit place, if it is 4 or 4, perfect square number unit place if it is 4, then which kind of number? They are the square of which kind of number? If there is a unit place number either 2 or 8. 2 or 8. Do not understand? See here. Where is the 4 at the perfect square? See, 4 is here and 4 is here. And these square numbers are of which natural number? This is the perfect square of the 12 and the unit place number is 2. This 324 is a perfect square of 18 and its unit place number is 8. So if we have the unit place number 2 and 8 in the natural number, then its square, if we do the square of this kind of number, then we get 4 as a unit place number. Right? In the same way, notice that if there is a 9, see 9 is here and 9 is here, 9 is here and 9 is here. So what about the 9? Now you can think about, if 9 is there, then the number we want to square, its unit place number must be either 3 or 6. Either 3 or 6. Sorry, not 6. Either 3 or 7. Right? Either 3 or 7. So here you can notice 9 is at the unit place, 9 is at the unit place, and which perfect square number is this? Whose perfect square number is this? 13. The unit place number is 3. Here the unit place number is 7. So whenever there is a 3 and 7 at the unit place of any natural number, then its square, if we do the square, then we get the 9 as a unit place. Right? In the same way, now you can think about 6. When we get 6, see, 6 is here and 6 is here. So which number we get here? 4 and 6. We get 4 and 6. So whenever there is a unit place number either 4 or 6, its square, the unit place of the square number is always 6. See, 6 is here in the perfect square and 6 is here in the perfect square. So we get 4 and 6 at the unit place of the number that we want to square. So this is the property we notice, we observe from this table. Or which number will remain? 5. And for the 5, there is only one number. If there is a 5 in the unit place, the perfect square number has one. The perfect square number has also the 5 at the unit place. Right? So this is some of the properties that we have observed. Now, if you ask that by giving any number and to find out that whether it is a perfect square or not, then first of all we have to notice that if the unit place digit number is 2, 3, 7, 8, and it will never be the perfect square number. Remember, but if there is 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 at the unit place number, then it can be the perfect square number. Right? Again, I am saying that it is not compulsory that it will be the perfect square number. It can be. Right? We have taken an example of 14 and 128. Now, the last property, that if there is 0, then what will happen? See, there is a 0 in the 10. Then when we make its perfect square, find its perfect square number, we get the two zeros. When we have 1 0, we get the perfect square number has a 2 0. That means the number of 0 will be doubled in the perfect square number. When we find the square of any number, then its perfect square has number of 0 are double. Like if we want to find out the square of the 100, then the square of the 100 we get here is 1. See how many zeros are there? 2. So we have to put 4 0 here. So 100 square we can write down as 10,000. In the same way, if we have 2,000 square, then how we can find out? See, what is 2 square? 2 square is 4. How many zeros are here? 3. We have to put 6 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the square of 2000. This is the square of 100. This is the square of 20. And this is the square of 10. So whenever there is a 0 at the unit place and we want to find out the square, then we have to make double of the 0. We have to put double 0 whatever we have given in the number. Here we have given 2, we have to put 4. If we have given 3 zeros, we have to put 6 zeros. Okay? So these all are the basic properties of the square numbers. Okay? Some of the patterns that we also have to study, we will study in the next class. Okay? So this is all about this lecture. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.